I'm going to try my best to show you how to change the rear calipers on an Audi A6 C6. This is a 3-litre TDI 2009. I think that the rears are 330mm, but let's get straight into it. I've just took it to the garage. They've changed the rear pads, and ever since I've got it back, it's saying there's no brake fluid in it. Checked it yesterday and there's literally no brake fluid in it. So they've changed the pads on the rear and they haven't even filled it back up with brake fluid. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, and then I'll show you these parts that I got from Autodoc which are damaged. So here we are, this is the caliper. I believe it's the right one. I'll measure it all out and I'll show you the part numbers in a moment. But look, that's snapped off and I can't be arsed to send that back to Autodoc. I mean, I could glue this back on, but I'm worried that the water's just going to get in there over time. So my plan is to take this off and keep it as a spare part, and then use the one that's already on the caliper. I have no idea if I can actually do any of this, but I'm just going to give it a go, and hopefully whoever's watching this can learn from my mistakes, and hopefully I don't make too many. So here we have a spare caliper. This is the incorrect one for my car. I bought this for £60 off a guy off Marketplace. And it wasn't the correct one, but I've kept it just in case. It's a lot smaller, but I think all these motors are exactly the same. So that's my backup motor. I've got a feeling it may not fit, but we're going to basically do this side because this is the side that's damaged. Okay, so we've taken the wheel off, got it jacked up. I'm obviously going to put it on something a bit more substantial in a moment. There's another thing I've noticed is the garage hasn't put my dust cap back on there, which I'm not too keen on. The first thing I want to do is pull this off. I've taken the 2 screws out already because they said this one is the one that's seized. So I'm going to get this off and then I'm going to compare it to the one that I've got from Autodoc just to make sure it is the correct one. Right, let me get this off. This is obviously absolutely gone. Look at that. All the dust and dirt is getting in there. And it's stuck. Oh bloody hell, that wasn't supposed to happen. I wasn't meant to do that. Well, that's a good insight to what that connector's meant to look like. Okay, so what I've got here, it's probably a bit too much. That's why I've used the little battery, because it's 18 volts. This is a DeWalt battery adapter. I used to use this to start my lawnmower, but that's long since gone. So what I've got here is these two. Please bear in mind, I don't know what I'm doing. I literally just make this up as I go along and hope that I get it right in the end. So I've got a feeling that one polarity, I have done this a couple of years ago on my mate's Audi and it worked. That's going to come out one way around, it's going to go back in. This is actually pointless what I'm doing right now. I'm just doing it mainly to just see if I'm right and to work it out a bit better. Well, that didn't sound good. It shouldn't have carried on. I don't think anyway. Let's swap that around to see if it'll come out. There we go, so it's coming out. That's pretty cool. Okay, I would imagine you could actually potentially wind that all the way out. I have no idea, but anyway, the basics that I know is that shouldn't be like that. This rubber sock thing should be stretching over that and it should sit in that lip, so we know for a fact that these are no good. So I'm going to get, in fact, that's going to make it have loads of brake fluid in, so I'm going to make that go back. Oh, what a moron. I literally said that that would happen and it's happened. I wasn't supposed to do that. Flipping heck. Well, at least we've learned something new today. That does actually push all the way out if you let it go all the way out. Oh, damn. I wasn't meant to do that. Now I'm going to have to bleed the brakes. Flipping heck. Is the brake fluid just going to keep falling out of this now? Yeah, it is. That's fucking annoying. Right, let me try and sort this out. Right, so far this video is exactly how you should not do this, but believe me, I will have this safe and working once I've worked it all out. I can't believe that's actually just happened. What I'm going to do is I'm going to check the dimensions from there to there. I think they're going to be right, and then I'm going to start taking this apart, and then I'm going to work out how to bleed it. So I've already shown you this, that this has come from the Autodoc and it's broken, but anyway. Right, let's check that. So that's 42mm. And I'm pretty sure this one's 43. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger, that is. That is 44 millimeters, so what's that, a millimeter difference in size. Hopefully that doesn't matter. Oh, 1 minute, this is the wrong way around, isn't it? What does that say? Right. Ah, it's the wrong one. Well, at least the one that's broken isn't the one that has actually broken on the car, if you know what I mean. So let's get the other one. Okay, so here we are. This is the correct one. So far, visually, they look the same, and I will put a link to these in the description, because finding parts on AutoDoc, in my experience, is an absolute nightmare sometimes. So, right, let's see what we can do with this. This doesn't need replacing, so I'm going to leave this new motor on it and hope that Ridex doesn't get these made in China and they're up to the same standard as this original part is. But I'll keep that as a spare anyway. But the first thing I want to do is I want to take this off here, because I actually don't know how this works, and I do like to learn the ins and outs of things when I'm doing it for the first time. And seems as I can't make this any worse, it doesn't really matter if I do break it any more than it is. I'm going to take that off, and I'm hoping it's literally just a bolt on, bolt off part, and it's that simple. That's proving quite difficult to get off because it's so rusty. So I think the most sensible thing is to do is to literally take that off, slap that on straight away, then take this apart on the bench over there. Okay, so what I've done now is I've tightened that on there. I'm going to now put that on here with the brake pads, and then I'm going to tighten it up again. And that's really it. That's quite simple, to be fair. It's a lot more simple than I was expecting it to be. So annoyingly, this Chinese shit, I've had this for about a year, and I've literally just got it back out the box and it's completely disintegrated. I've only ever used brake fluid in that. My brother's just gone to work, so now I've got no one to press the brake pedal. I'm going to have to try and make something so I can bleed my brakes. So I chopped up my bleeding thing and I made that, and it actually worked. I managed to get all the air bubbles out. Yeah, I could have probably pushed some more dirty fluid through, but I just wanted the brakes to work, and it's been replaced by new stuff, so I'm pretty confident that that's going to be fine. So the next bit is I'm going to put the electronic handbrake on, I think. So we've bled that and tighten that a little bit more. Let's get our bleed nipple dust cap. So that is one side done. Now I don't know whether to put 12 volts to this to let it wind in, or will the car work it out itself? Then again, this channel's all about fucking around and finding out, so let's hope nothing bad happens of this. So let's plug that in there. That doesn't seem right. It's like got so much pressure on it now. Why would it be like that? It must be right. Okay, let's that is really bizarre, that is. Maybe it's because the car's been jacked up, but yeah, okay. Let's put the electronic parking brake on and see if any smoke comes out of anywhere. Right, like an idiot, I didn't press record then. The handbrake just came on. It came on a lot longer than it has in the past, so that tells me it's wound all the way in. That is rock solid now, so I've finally got a rear brake that's actually working correctly now. There's no leaks anywhere. That's just residue from when I was bleeding it, I think. So I'm going to double check that in a moment, make sure nothing's leaking, because you should never mess around with brakes. And I know there might be people in the comments saying, oh, you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't be messing with brakes, but look, it's working, it's done. The brakes work, you know, it's fine. I'm not going to bother showing you the other side because it's literally the same process, but that's how you change the rear calipers on an A6. Like I say, I'll put the part numbers in the description, but that's what's on. In fact, you'll have to look at it that way. So there we go, done.